Hello, friends. Ahsoka here. I just wanted to take a minute to comment on the news, apparently, that DC Direct is gone. It's Monday night. Been hearing the last few hours that there's a lot of layoffs happening at DC Comics. A lot of the senior editorial staff have been let go, and that also the DC Direct has been completely shut down. So first of all, none of this is really confirmed yet. Hearing about it from, like Variety and just people on Twitter. I'm sorry, not Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, and then folks on Twitter, Bleeding Cool, and just, messages from friends and whatnot. So it's definitely nothing confirmed, but it seems like something major has happened at DC Direct. So obviously, first of all, for the folks who are employed there, and at DC Comics and Warner Brothers who are getting laid off today, that is obviously really sad. I mean, people are losing their jobs, their livelihood. Means to support their families, and these folks at DC Comics, at DC Direct, I've gotten to know them a little bit. I was at Toy Fair this past year for the first time, and I got to meet Jim Fletcher and the DC Direct team in person for the first time, and they're just great people, and they're passionate people who love DC Comics as much as we do. So it's really heartbreaking for those folks that they might be losing their jobs. Again, this is nothing confirmed 100% yet, but it does seem like it has happened. So wow, just really sad day for those folks who are losing their jobs. So then of course this means with DC Direct gone, just for me, I've been collecting DC Direct figures for 22 years, since 1998. So I've been there since day one. So if this is the end, it's really, man, it's a gut punch. I know a lot of you who follow me also are big DC Direct fans and have been collecting these figures for a really long time. So I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way. DC Direct has produced some of the most amazing DC Comics based action figures ever. A lot of the times I'll post something that was released 10 years ago and people ask me where they can get it today. They think it's a figure that was just released because the quality is so good and it really stands the test of time, a lot of the figures that they've created and released over the years. So yeah, it's really a lot to take in. It's, again, first of all, for the people who work there, it's obviously, we might not get action figures anymore, but those folks are losing their jobs. So that's the number one thing. But just for us collectors in the action figure community, DC Comics, we have a few things we collect. We have DC Direct, we have McFarlane, we have the different Japanese lines and Spin Master and whatnot. So it's a pretty small community of collectors, I think, on the DC Comics side of things. So it's really sad news all around for the folks involved, and for us as fans. It's just terrible. I hope DC Direct survives in some fashion. They still had a lot of figures that they have yet to be released that were announced and I think produced. I think on Toy Arc we just saw the latest Batman, The Adventures Continue, Deathstroke, Armored Batman. So they had an advanced review of that. So hopefully those still come out, as well as those deceased figures and whatever's left. But yeah, it just really sucks. There's really no way around it. As a DC Direct fanatic, as you can see back here, most of these figures are DC Direct, or a lot of them anyways. It's just really, really sad news. And just, such a bummer. Like, DC Direct is a great company. It's a great division of DC Comics. They were really great with interacting with the fans online. And they produced amazing product, amazing figures for us. They were all very, fan-centric figures, I would say. So yeah, really, really tough news to kind of deal with. So again, my thoughts go out to all the people affected by this directly who actually work there and might be losing their jobs, and that's really horrible. But also us as an action figure community, for the DC Comics action figure fans, it's a big loss for us if this turns out to be true. So I guess we'll find out more in the coming days. But I'll definitely share any news that I hear. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good evening.